What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders around the world, wherever you may be. My name is Logan, your tour guide, and this is Decode Your Reality. Today we're gonna be breaking down and decoding the topic upgrade. Upgrade decoded. I should have did a scripted reality. Upgrade decoded. Ladies and gentlemen, put on a pair of headphones, block out the outside world. This one is going to be another fun one. And I'm going to be using myself as the example. Let's jump right into this and talk about how I got to do this decode. I just got back from the United States just a few days ago. And on my trip back, taking a flight on Delta, I decided to pass the time by watching a movie or two. And this was the movie that caught my eye, called Upgrade. I had never seen it before. But the reason why I was so attracted to it was because of the word upgrade. I've been saying that the world is receiving DNA activation upgrades for some time now through many of my What's Your Questions, my lives. So of course I was a little biased. I was gravitating towards this. It looked interesting. And so I clicked on it and the rest is history. And it's so fascinating because here I am caught up in this decode and this scripted reality, because the main actor to play out this movie was Logan Marshall Green. The small things that I pick up on that maybe many of you do not, I noticed right away that he has kind of a lazy right eye. I do too. I've been trying to figure out why that is. Now, we could say, well, it's just a shot, but I have the same exact thing. My right eye is a lazy eye, and you can catch it a lot in the photographs. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, my name, I go by Logan. This guy's name's Logan Marshall Green. Notice that some of the films that he was in, Prometheus, I've done a decode on Prometheus. So I was very intrigued. When I caught the name of Logan Marshall Green, I knew that this is something that I should watch. Of course, the word upgrade was a big thing, so I jumped into this, and it's an amazing movie. If you haven't caught it, I'll leave the trailer in the video description. Check it out, go watch it. It is definitely well worth the time you'll spend watching this. So of course I'm going to break down the difference between Logan Marshall Green and myself. And you could see the comedy right off the bat is that November 1st is the 305th day of the year. I was born on the 35th day of the year. Same thing, right? It's just got the 0 in there. I don't even know this guy. But of course, we live in a scripted reality, and all things are connected. When you're willing to look at the things connected in this reality, you will start to see with your own personal life and the people around you that you live inside of a scripted reality. This is not an exception. This is not the first time I've shown people that I'm connected to. Many of you know through the decodes that I've done. So let's break this down and take a look at the ridiculousness of this. Logan Marshall Green being a 61, my channel Decode Your Reality, which I didn't pick. It came into my mind. So the thoughts, as I have been saying, are not my own. They're not your own. So what's What's running the thoughts? Well, I don't know. But trying to figure that out. They're coming from somewhere, but they're not coming from me. I'm receiving them. You're receiving them. And a big shout out to Robin, fellow decoder. She had told me, hey, instruction manual is 61. It was a big find, right? Not saying that I have the instruction manual, but I'm giving you my instruction manual on how it works and how Logan Marshall Green being tied to me and this upgrade word, and of course Prometheus, because just so happens Logan Marshall Green was in Prometheus. His name equals 61. The 61st element on the periodic table is promethium. Coincidence? Of course not. It's all connected. So I went back and I looked at when I released my Prometheus Decoded. It was on May 24th, 2023. And of course, I just do all this stuff improv. I don't ever pick dates on the calendar. I don't need to. What is May 24th? Well, it just so happens to be the 144th/145th day of the year, which just coincidentally happens to match the average isotope of promethium. I didn't even know this. That's how, like, I'm so engrossed in these decodes. There's so much going on in my life. There's so many things that I miss. But I'm big into the timestamps. But as you can see, folks, I didn't plan Prometheus Decoded. It planned me. And you can see why. Now that I'm showing you on this day. And you'll be able to decode this day with the timestamp of this video, which are all improv, and you're going to find a scripted reality. That is what's going on here. So let's continue with this scripted reality and upgrade Decoded. This premiered on the 10th of March, 2018. That 218 is massive. If you watched Leave the World Behind, if you watched the eclipse that I decoded, the upcoming eclipse that already passed on April 8th, there was a lot of 218, 281, 128 references. But this came out on the 10th of March, which is very fascinating because I just watched this movie last night with a really good friend of mine. This was the first movie I watched being back in Mexico, Lucy. I hadn't watched it in a while, and my friend hadn't watched it since it came out, so I was like, let's watch it. Let's see what I can find. And oh boy, did I find, watching it a second, third time is amazing. But nonetheless, there was her birthday on her passport that they projected for this character, Scarlett Johansson, and Lucy Miller, right? The 10th of March. It's so fascinating because what is that? That's 10, and March can be the third month, the 103. It just coincidentally happens to be the time I was born, 1:03 a.m. Coincidence? Well, I'll have to leave that to you. But there it is, the 103. And this whole movie was about upgrading consciousness, going from 10% to 100% upgrade. Now, did they premiere this on this date because Lucy was right here and this passport was the 103? I'll have to leave that up to you. I mean, the 24 is there. My birthday's on the 24th. I released my Prometheus on May 24th. I mean, I didn't plan all my stuff, folks. I didn't plan this. Something is running my reality. I can't tell you what it is. I can just theoretically give you my positions. I'm being used. I've been telling all of you this, and I mean, do you get a hall pass from that? Are you not being used as a person living out this reality? Anyway, let's get into the movie now, right? Upgrade. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to leave the trailer in the description. Watch the trailer. If you haven't seen the movie, it's definitely well worth watching it. The small subtleties. He's a mechanic. He has a Pontiac Firebird, which is the Phoenix. I have 5 Phoenixes tattooed on my right arm. My parents owned a Pontiac Phoenix back in the 1970s. Not an accident. It's all scripted. Here's Logan Marshall Green and his wife in this movie. And what ends up happening is their car flips over and she ends up... they get pulled out of the car. This is the drone footage because she ends up getting shot and killed. There's her, and he ends up getting paralyzed. Okay, and you can see the hexagons there. They made sure of those. But look at the station, the police drone, the station. Here's a code right here. We got to look at that. Well, what is that? It's freaking 35. What's 35? How about simulation? The word simulation equals 35. How about the fact that I was born on the 35th day of the year? And this guy who played the main character was born on the 305th day of the year. See how all this stuff connects? Just some simple little things we can look at. So this was off the movie, and then he becomes a paraplegic, and then he gets offered to have this implant right here called STEM put into his neck. Now, this is not the first time we've seen this in movies. How about the 100 and the flame? Okay, the 100 and the flame. I got nothing in my neck that I know about, but how about you? It's just comical. So he gets this implant and it allows him to walk again. Paraplegic, comes out of the paraplegic. He's able to walk again, full control over his body with this thing called STEM. And they implant it in his spinal cord where he got kind of severed, if you will. And now it starts to talk to him. There's a voice in his head that starts to talk to him. And this is him walking into the house of one of the people that was at the murder scene of killing his wife. He finds the person and he ends up fighting this person and killing this person. But he didn't want to do it. But of course, STEM, the implant, took over his body. He gave it permission and it completely annihilated and just wiped this dude out inside his own home. This movie's incredible. The story of it anyway. And here is, so of course I'm going to look and say, okay, well, Logan Marshall Green is the guy. His name is Gray Trace. That equals 26. Just like Source equals 26. Just like Yod-Heh Vahe equals 26. My spirit card is the 26th card in the deck, and my life path is the 26th. But anyway, I could keep going on and on and on. But the main thing was like, who's the voice of STEM inside this guy's mind? It was this character or this actor, Simon Maiden. And of course, he's not on Wikipedia, but I did find him on IMDb. He is an actor. I tried to dig really deep. I couldn't find his birthday. But I did find a podcast with his voice in here. Now, again, you'd have to start looking at, like, if some people say he's not real. Okay, well, then you'd have to go and say the podcast is absolutely rubbish and fake, and it's all projected to try to dupe you and get one past you. This sounds pretty legit. If you go watch this, you go listen to this. I'm going to leave this in the description as well. You go listen to this. You just listen to what he first starts talking about STEM and being the actor to play the voice of STEM, who was in the head of Logan Marshall Green, telling him what to do, giving him an upgrade. And so the Simon Maiden actor name was absolutely fascinating because the word STEM, which is what they gave the voice, is a 16. And it's so funny because Killer, Killer ends up becoming the 16. But the 16th card in the playing cards is the 3 of clubs. The STEM, the voice in Logan's head as this character, is tied to the 3 of clubs, which just so happens to be the Game Master card in the show Alice in Borderland on Netflix, right here. There's a Game Master and he holds up the 3 of clubs. Coincidence that the voice in the head, tied to the word they chose for the voice in the head to represent the voice, is a 16. And 16, of course, that's tied to sulfur. That's tied to oxygen, the 8th element on the periodic table. The 8, which is the prison, which is the infinity symbol. But it's Simon Maiden for the voice. So, of course, I remember this game. If you're somebody who's the same age as me, around the same age as me, I'm 51. Well, I used to play this game when I was a kid. Simon. It was an electronic game. And then it comes from this children's game, Simon Says. Simon says to do this, and you got to do this. Simon says to do that, and you got to do that. Like the voice in your head, right? But it's actually somebody outside of you. But the message is the same. Simon Says, Simon. And then Simon as the actor, the real actor, that they chose to play STEM to control Logan Marshall Green and Gray Trace in this movie Upgrade. You see how all this is connected? It's so fascinating. So fascinating. So, of course, Simon is a very big deal. So we're going to look to Simon and the game And I'm going to go deeper. And I did. And who created the electronic game? So now we have to bring these two guys in on the conspiracy. They would have to be in on this big. Those of you that think that people are running this reality, you would have to bring these two gentlemen that are game inventors into the conspiracy, because they're trying to mock you and try to get one past you. And you can see these are the names. I couldn't find the birthday of Howard Morrison, so I couldn't go any further than this, but I used what they portrayed on the public scene. Here it is, right here. And that's a 91. Ralph H. Baer, Howard J. Morrison, the creators of Simon. Simon Says. And it's just so fascinating that this gentleman right here, Thomas John Ellis Hooper, was the guy they casted to play Lucifer, the devil, the Diabolos. And it's also coincidental that his November 17th birth card is the 16th card in the deck, the 3 of clubs. 16, stem, the voice in your head. Which is why I've been saying, how long now? Be the best little devil you can be. You think he has a choice in his? You think he had a choice in his reality? Born on the 321st, 322nd day of the year? You think that these guys had a choice? No, mankind is not in control of this reality. Sure, you can become aware of it, but mankind's not in control of this reality. You just enjoy the show. You just enjoy the show. And then just some small subtleties. This game was available from 1978 on. He was born in 1978. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. And the last thing I will tell you on this decode, very short one, and show you is the astrological map for this upgrade movie. And I'm showing you this date right here. And I'm going off of the release date. They released it on the 10th of March. And of course, Lucy has the passport of the 10th of March. So the upgrade for Lucy in the movie Lucy was using 100% of the brain. This whole concept of upgrade was doing exactly the same thing. And so the movie, when you go read about upgrade, it's a lot of time into the future. When you go in from 2046 to, actually, I'm going to go to that. Let me just go to this so I can show you what I'm talking about here. Here we go. So when it says, how many days into the future? Let me see if I can find it. Of course, I can't find it when I'm looking for it now. 2046, there it is. In 2046, this is the date they chose. So, of course, I'm going to pull the astrological map for that, and I'm going to measure it, and I'm going to look at to see what the energy's going on here. Does the astrological map have any say in our reality? Well, this says so. Look at the cluster of energy up here. Now, I just have this at noon to 11 a.m., but I'm not going to say the houses are going to be accurate, but this will be a snapshot in that day of time. So each house will get its turn, but in the house of Aquarius, which seemingly is what we're going to be in 2046, you can look at the cluster of energy here, folks. You have the mighty Zeus, Jupiter, in the 25th nakshatra. 25 is tied to crypto. The word crypto equals 25. The sun is right there, conjunct Jupiter, the spirit. You have Black Moon Lilith there. You have Mercury, the way you think, the way we think. And then you have Pluto, which is the destroyer. And is this signifying that the way you think will be removed, since Pluto and Mercury are literally sitting right on top of one another? The way you think, Pluto's job is to remove. Mercury is to think. So is this insinuating that it will remove the way you think in the future? You won't have to anymore, and you will use what Lucy was subscribing to, what Morgan Freeman was talking about, of going into 100% of the brain's capacity. Is that what this is insinuating here? All along the way, since we're in the age of Aquarius, we have a symbiotic relationship with the house of Leo, Leo being the sun. The sun is across from its own defaulted house position. And then you have Uranus, which is heaven, which is right across the way from its defaulted house of Aquarius. Now, there are so many other markers in this that we could talk about, from Kronos to Mars to Poseidon. But the big takeaway, ladies and gentlemen, for this astrological map of this movie in 2046 is the house of Aquarius, the 11th house, the one observing itself as the one. And we have all this energy here. And I think the big takeaway for the upgrade, this is what this is insinuating. And is this what we have to look forward to moving into the house of Aquarius? This is I Know Thyself. It's an electrical age ruled by Uranus. It's an electrical age. That's what this whole movie was about. It was about STEM being an implant in the spinal cord, and it was going off of your circulatory system. And the Pluto energy conjunct Mercury. Mercury is the way you think. And is this right here insinuating that the way you think will be removed? In the 24th nakshatra, the little subtleties here in the sign of Aquarius. Is that what this is saying right here, folks? Well, I say that this has a lot of merit to it, and I say that we shouldn't leave this out for the consideration of where we're moving and headed towards as a human being species. Because my opinion is the age of Aquarius is not going to look like anything like the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces is what it means to be a human being. The age of Aquarius, you're moving into a completely different, technologically advanced society, which is ruled by Uranus and electricity. And are we getting an upgrade? The things I've been saying, not me, and I shouldn't even say things I'm saying, the things that are saying it through me. I'm just a catalyst and being this person through Decoded Reality. And is this the instruction manual telling us this is what we have to look forward to? Well, leave your comments. Leave your comments in the description down below. Would love to hear what you saw. Go check out the movie if you haven't watched it. It's definitely well worth watching the movie. It was an incredible movie, I thought. A lot of synchronicities. I'm probably going to watch it again because there was so many things I know I missed. But leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decoded Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.